Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel for another story time. Alright, so as you can tell from the title below, this is gonna be about the time I tried to join a fraternity. Alright, so I go to a HBCU, so a part of like the HBCU culture is joining a fraternity or a sorority or whatever. And at first I never really thought about it till I got to college. And it was always this one fraternity, which I'm not gonna say the name, but there was always this one fraternity like at my school. And then after I seen them at my school, I did like research on them, but they like always just stood out to me. Like it was just some, I would like say what, but it'll give them away, and I'm not trying to say the name. So yeah, it was just something about what they did and like how they dressed or whatnot that always stood out to me. And it wasn't just what they did, it would be like, there was certain members that were always in some like mess, but the ones that were, like who like did good, like they were always, recognized for stuff like having the highest GPA, like shit, like positive stuff. They were always recognized for positive stuff. So that made me like more interested in them. Plus about what they, how they dress and what they did and all that. So like me and my friends would have conversations about like joining fraternities and sororities and stuff. And we would just like say like which one we would like do over like any other one. And whenever I would like tell my friends, like I didn't tell like all my friends, but whenever I tell my friends like which one I would join, they would be like, oh, you would be like a cute one, like you should do that, like I can see you doing that. And I was like, if they ever like have like a interest meeting or whatever, I'll go. So mind you, this is my freshman year when I like kind of like thought about it. So finally, when we get to my sophomore year, which is this year. So last semester, because I'm in my second semester of my sophomore year. So last semester, they had an interest meeting, but I was too scared to go. And the reason why I was too scared to go because I had did so much like research on the fraternity or whatever. And this particular fraternity, this might give it away, but I don't give a fuck. I'm still not saying the name. But this particular fraternity always got, always gets scrutinized for being like gay or sweet or whatever you want to call it or whatever. So I'm like, the reason why I was scared to go was because I felt like, because I'm not flamboyant, so I'm like, some of them probably don't even know that I'm gay, but some of them do know people that I know, so I know they know that I'm gay. So I felt like they would like, not like want me to join the fraternity because of my sexuality. So I ended up not going. Like I had got dressed for it and all. Well, I was about to get dressed for it and all, but then I was like, no. And then I seen like boys going to the meeting, and my friend was like, you should just go because they're going. They're going right now, so you need to hurry up, get dressed, and go. But I was like, no, I'm gonna sit this one out. If they have one next semester, maybe. Or if they have one like my junior year or my senior year, then I'll go. But for right now, I'm not going. And I did not go. And like later on in the semester, they had like a little probate or whatever, and the boys like crossed or whatever. And I was like, they need me. They need me because, a few of them, like, they were fucking up at the probate. Like, they didn't know the information. I'm like, these bitches need me. Like, bitch, because if I get out there, bitch, I'm going to show out. Like, they need me. So, this semester, before the semester even started, one of my friends sent me an Instagram post, and it was of the fraternity, and they was having an interest meeting when we came back to school. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna really go to this one. Like I said, I'm gonna go, so I'm gonna go. Cause after like the one from last semester when I didn't go, I said if they have one next semester, I'll go. So I said, okay, I'm gonna keep my word and I'm gonna go. So I first of all, I was like I said, I was still nervous about not getting in because of like the reason that I previously stated. So I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous, but I was like, I'm gonna just, if I get in, I get in. If I don't, I don't. But at the end of the day, this was just the interest meeting. So I'm like, we don't know, like, for right now. So it's just the interest meeting. So just, like, go. Don't worry about all the rest of the stuff. Just go to the interest meeting, let them talk, listen, and go from there. So I went, and honestly, it wasn't bad, but there it was something that happened in particular that like really like pissed me off. So to be honest, we didn't really have to like really talk in the interest meeting because the interest meeting is just them. It's like well, information. It's really an informational meeting. Like it just tells you like about their history, how it started, and you know their motto and all that. And that's really it. So the only thing we had to do, they made us stand up and introduce ourselves or whatever. And that's when they talked or whatever. And when they all like talked, like the members and then like the advisors or whatever, I kind of felt like, oh, maybe I might get in because one of the advisors is gayer than a bitch. Like when I say gay, gay, like the way he talked, the way he act, like everything like he has a lot of sugar in his tank. And you can't tell me like nobody can tell me he don't like he gay. He gay. So like I ain't gonna lie, that kinda gave me hope because I'm not flamboyant like that. So that kinda like gave me a little bit of hope. So then at the end, one of the advisors, which is one of the adults that, you know, oversees like, you know, the chapter president, which is by the members of the fraternity or whatever, the advisor asked, what made y'all wanna join this fraternity? So, you know, everybody was going around and, you know, I was just waiting for, you know, when I was gonna speak, like, cause you know, everybody kept going, like, we were just going, like, not even in order, we were just going randomly, like, when somebody else started talking, the next person went. So I was gonna get ready to go after this one boy was about to go because the advisor pointed at one boy and the boy was finna speak. Tell me why one of the boys that's a member and he, like, is, I think he, like, I forgot what his position is or whatever, but he pointed at me and was like, I wanna hear from you. I said, me? He was like, yeah, you. He was like, cause you seem so standoffish. And I was like, me? Standoffish? Like, I was like, cause I didn't know where he got it. Like, how did you come to the conclusion that I'm so standoffish? You don't know me, like, but I said it in my head, I didn't say it out loud. So I just stood up and I would say what I said, but it kind of like goes hand in hand with their motto. Like I kind of incorporate their motto with my answer, and I don't want to give the name away, so you know I'm just not gonna say it or whatever. But I gave my answer, whatever, and when I gave my answer, he was like, "That's it." I said, "Yeah," and I sat back down. Like I'm like, is he trying to like G me? Like what the fuck? Like why he coming for me? So then after that or whatever, you know, it was over, whatever, and you know we had to like shake all their hands and whatnot. And when I shook his hand, he was just like smiling, and I'm like, oh, wow, like if I just knew from the moment, like him, if I make it like through this process, this the one that's gonna want to give me hell. I don't know why, but he gonna be the one. I just know it's gonna be him. So then after that, whatever, when we left the meeting, that's when we had to like fill out the application or whatever, and they gave us all the requirements and stuff or whatever. So you know, being that I had, you know, time to think about, because they gave us like 2 weeks to complete the application, so I already knew like, you know, how I was gonna, or the answers are the answers, so you just answer questions on your own. It's like from your own mind or whatever. It's just certain stuff you have to get, like you have to get letters of recommendation and stuff like that. And I have a cousin that was, well, that because HBCU fraternities, you're a part of it for life. So I have a cousin that is a part of the fraternity or whatever. So I was gonna have him write my letter of recommendation, and he was gonna introduce me to, you know, other members of the organization. But my mom also has a coworker that is a part of the fraternity, and she was like, she can get him and his, you know, or his people to write it or whatever. And then we had to get one from like an organization, and we had to get one from a teacher. So I had all my little letters or whatever, but I had it all in order because, you know, black people, you can never really trust them. My cousin wrote mine, but he never introduced me to like other members of the organization. And then my mom's coworker, he got me he couldn't write it because you have to be in good standing to write it. Like all your, like when you eat, it's just the whole thing. He just wasn't able to write it, so he had to his line brothers write it. And I just felt like, you know, because it was like, it wasn't last minute, but it was getting to the point where it was coming up to the point where I had to turn the application in. So one boy that I went to high school with is a part of the organization. He was one of the boys that joined last semester. So I said, okay, I'm gonna ask him just in case one of them end up not writing it. So I asked him whatever, right? He said he would write it. So then when it came to the day of like me turning the application in or whatever, right? I had all my letters of recommendation except for one. So I asked him, "Did you write the letter?" Because I was counting on him for the last one, or one of the other people that I had. Well, one of the other guys that my mom's coworker was gonna have write for me. So he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna write it." Mind you, when I asked him, it was like 4 o'clock. We had to turn these applications in by 7. I asked him on Thursday. I asked him on a Thursday. You telling me like you said you was gonna write it this weekend. The weekend came and you didn't write my letter? Like, I just kind of felt like, I don't know, like I kind of felt like, and the way he like said it, I kind of felt like, I don't know, something was just off to me. It was just something off. So, and we're gonna get to that. Eventually, whatever, right? The guy that my mom's coworker asked to write it, one of his line brothers, he ended up giving me the letter or whatever. So I just finally turned in all the stuff for the application, and I just turned the application in. So then after I turned the application in, they emailed me, and they was like, I met the requirements for an interview. So they told me when the interview was. The interview was like the next day. No, before the interview. Now, before the interview, it's like 2 days before I even turned in the application, I left this part out. But 2 days before I even turned in the application, one of the boys that's a part of the fraternity or whatever, right? I don't know who in particular he told this to, but it ended up getting back to somebody that I knew. So he said something about me like having on a wig in one of my friends' Snapchats. Mind you, we was playing in the wig because it was just a funny, I don't know why we thought the wig was so fucking funny, but me and my friends just thought this one wig that my friend had was funny, and we was just like joking around and playing in it. It's not like I had on a wig, like, oh, I'm just like, I wear a wig every day and I'm just like so flamboyant or some shit. Like, so I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, it was clearly a joke when he seen it, and that was months ago. So it's like, what relevance does that have to now? Like, what the fuck? And my friend was like, I don't know, but somebody told me just tell you, watch what you do because they watching you. I'm like, watching me? Like, for what? So she was like, I think you should put your YouTube videos and stuff on private and like make all your pages private, because I don't know. So I did that. Like, I took all the videos off my YouTube and made them private. I put all my like social medias and stuff on private. So she was like, but I still felt like, just even when I did that, I still felt like just him saying that, like, about the wig, I'm like, even though it was nothing, it was just a fucking joke, they gonna use that to not like let me join. So I was like, I don't even really want to go to the interview no more, because like, if y'all tripping about me joking around in a fucking wig that you see me wear like one time, and it was for like what, 2 minutes, like, nah, y'all reaching. So I was like, I don't even think I should waste my time going. But I had spent so much money into it, and then spent money because you have to pay for the application. It's just like, I might as well just go. And if I get in, I get in. If I don't, I don't. But I already knew, just by him saying that, the decision was already made. Like, I just knew I wasn't getting in. But fast forward, so I ended up going to the meeting or whatever. And first of all, it was 2 boys ahead of me. So when they was in the meeting, like, you can hear a little bit of what, you can't really hear here because the doors is heavy of where we were. And we went one at a time. But when I was waiting outside, like, when the 2 boys in front of me went, like, you could hear them, like, like, not joking around, but you could hear them, like, laughing, like, being kind of, like, playful, I guess you could say. When I stepped in the room, like, everybody had a serious face. Like, it was just like, I don't know, like, it's just like, it went from them, like, laughing kikiing until like just that quick. So mind you, I already knew from the moment I walked in, just by that, I was like, I'm not getting in. And then the advisor, one of them, when I tell you he had his head down the whole time, like this, the whole time, didn't look at me not one time. And I already knew from, and then when they started asking me questions, like the questions that they ask you in the interview are the same questions that they ask on the application. So it was like, the interview wasn't really nothing. It was just you answered really, just answer the same questions that you just answered just the day before you turned the application in. But they started like pressing me about certain like questions. Like they kept pressing me about like, oh, we see that, because mind you, I had the application, the letter of recommendation from my cousin. Then I had the two other guys that my mom's coworker was line brothers with. Oh, we see that, they were like, oh, we see that you have two letter recommendations from other members. Can you please tell us how you know them? Mind you, the application is in front of them. They're reading the application as you talk. I guess to see if you're gonna lie or something. I don't know, but they're reading it as you talk. I guess they thought I was lying. It was like, is it really that serious? Like, come on, like, for real. It was just a letter of recommendation. Like, it wasn't like, oh, like they hyped me up to be this person. Like, it was just a simple letter of recommendation that y'all asked for. Like, but I knew they like was trying to like, do a thing. And then they asked me one question. I can't remember what the question was, but I answered the question. And what did I say? I said something. It wasn't like really wrong, but it was like just another way I could have said it. And the other advisor, the one that actually was the one, not the one that had his head down, but the other one, he was like, do you mean, like, it's like he like kind of corrected me, but you could tell it was like in a shade. Like you could tell he was doing it in a shade. The way he first saw, the way he said it was shady. You could tell he was only correcting me or like trying to say it like that to be shady. And I know he was, because the one that was like, oh, you're so standoffish, that one, he like, well, all of them actually was trying to keep from laughing when he said it. So I'm just looking like, is he serious? Like, are you serious? Like, is that deep? Like, okay. Then at the end of the meeting or whatever, one of them was like, oh, do you ever like try to, say what's up to anybody that's, a part of the organization, or some shit like that? And I was like, yeah. And I said the boy that I know from high school, I was like, I talked to him, like, and he was like, oh, okay. And he was like, oh, just, to let you know, when you like want to be a part of something, especially he was like, we see that you were really involved in high school, but you're not really involved in a lot of stuff here. So, just a reminder, if you want to, be a part of something here, you should like make your face known, and da 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 da. And I'm like, okay. Like, yeah, like I knew they was using this stuff. They were gonna use that stuff to like cover up the fact that they really just didn't want me to join because I'm gay. So I left the meeting or whatever, right? So the next day, all my friends was asking me, because I told them like when the interview was, they was asking me the next day, did you hear from them or like yet? And I'm like, nah, I ain't hear from them yet. So then it was close to like 1 o'clock or something in the afternoon or whatever. And one of my friends asked me, and it was so crazy. She asked me, she was like, did you get in? And I was like, I don't know. And then my phone like vibrated, and it was an email. But my emails, for some reason, it never pops up like on the screen. Like I have to go to the app or whatever. So I was like, I'm gonna just check it when I get in the room. So I get in the room, whatever, and I was about to do something, but I was like, let me check my email first. Mind you, I didn't even think they was gonna email me that fast. It wasn't even 24 hours yet. And they emailed me, and when they typically, because from what I heard from people that have pledged or have attempted to pledge, you don't really hear from them until like, maybe like a week or two, because they go through like everybody. So I'm like, I didn't get in. When I seen their name pop up at the top, I knew I didn't get in. And then the email was so funny to me, because it's just like, okay, like, let me read y'all the email. So the email said, greetings, Mr. Parker. Thank you for expressing interest in becoming a member of Fraternity Incorporated. We have received and reviewed your application along with many others. After our review, you met the minimal standards to be granted an interview through. We regret to inform you that we are unable to offer you membership into our organization at this time, but do encourage you to resubmit for membership if you still have the desire in the future. In the meantime, we encourage you to continue to pursue academic excellence, community service, and campus involvement. Your interest in our organization is very much appreciated. We sincerely hope that we will be in a position to offer you more encouragement at a later date. So, at first, when I seen it, I didn't even read the. I really didn't even read the whole email. I just skipped for the part that said that I didn't get in, so I can make sure like I didn't get in. So when I saw I didn't get in, I was just like, okay, I didn't get in. So I just told my friends like I didn't get in, and they was like, why? And I just screenshot. I didn't even read it. I literally just screenshot the email and I just sent it to them, and they was like, what the fuck? And I was like, what? And they was like, they said that you met the minimal requirements for an interview, but then you say that the questions that they asked in the interview was the ones on the application. So what's the problem? And I was like, because I already knew like they was like trying to say like you only didn't make it because you're gay, and they was like you should say something to somebody. But I'm like, I don't have the time. I mean, I could have said something, but at the same time, being that I know that one of them actually said something about me even having that little wig on, that wig shit, but it was just like, no matter what, they're gonna like, because of I wasn't involved, they're gonna use that to cover it up anyway. So it's like no point. They can just easily, because I don't have that like in writing that he actually said that. That's just word of mouth, and I don't even know exactly word from word what he even said out of his mouth. So it's like I can't really say nothing, because I mean, he didn't actually like, you know, I know he said it, but I mean we don't have proof that he said it. And then number two, the people that I would have even had to go to, they're members of the fraternity, so it would have been a lose-lose anyway. And then on top of that, I didn't want to say nothing because I just felt like I read so much, like when I was like researching it, I read so much stuff about boys like actually suing the fraternity because they were denied membership because they're gay. And I was like, I don't really want to be added to the list. I just didn't get in. And I just feel like no matter what, gay, straight, or whatever, if they just didn't accept me, then that means God just didn't want it to be. It just wasn't written in my cards. Like, it's fine. I was just like, I'm not going to stress about shit that I can't control. It doesn't matter why they didn't accept me. It's fine. Like, I can't control what happened. It happened. They didn't let me in. It's fine. Like, I'm not going to stress about it. I didn't even tell my mom that I didn't make it till she, like, called me, like, a week later and asked me. And then she finally asked me, she was like, did you, like, hear from them? I was like, yeah. And she was like, did you get in? I was like, no. And she was like, are you upset? And at first, when she asked me, I really wasn't. I really wasn't upset at first. I was just like, oh, yeah, I just didn't get in. Like, my friends was doing all that about, like, me being gay or whatever. And I knew it in the back of my mind, but I just wasn't, like, I just never verbally said it at first. But I knew. Like, I knew, but it was just like, I'm just like, my mind just wasn't on that. Like, it was just like, whatever, fuck it. So I just really wasn't upset right then and there. And I was like, I ain't mad, but whatever. And then she was like, oh, well, you know, you could always try again. And I was like, but being the fact that I knew it was because I'm gay in the back of my mind, I was like, no, I'm not. And she was like, why not? She was like, cause she has a friend who joined the sorority, and she was like, before her friend even got in, her friend had to try like numerous of times before she actually got in. I said, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be one of those, like, because there is a lot of people that do that. Because the thing about it is, it's a lot of money. Like, I'm not about to give y'all money all these times, just for y'all to deny me over and over and over again, till y'all feel like y'all want to give me membership. And then on top of that, being the reason why, no, I'm not giving you none of y'all. I'm not giving y'all no more motherfucking money just so y'all can say no because he gay. No, I'm not doing that. So she was like, did they say why? I was like, no. Well, I told her what they said, and then I was like, but we all know why. Like, we don't have to act like we're oblivious to it. Like, we know it's because I'm gay. Like, we don't have to pretend. And she was like, oh, well, you know, because I want to transfer schools anyway. So she was like, when you go to a different school, you could, like, you know, join a different chapter. No thanks. Fuck the whole fraternity as a whole. And she was like, you can't do that. I'm like, yes, I can. And you're going to watch me because I'm not doing that. And I really feel like that. Like, well, now I don't. Like, I still feel like, okay, maybe if I do transfer to another school, then yeah, I'll try to join another chapter. But if I don't get in then, I ain't doing that shit again. But I am kind of happy that I didn't make it, though. because like I just feel like if they would have even put me like online to go through the process, I honestly feel like they would have gave me hell. And bitch, I'm only like this big, and them niggas would have had me fucking pent up in the hospital somewhere. So maybe it was meant for me not to make it. That's how I really look at it. Like, bitch, maybe ain't. I don't really take it as an L, but you know, I mean, you can consider it an L, but I mean, I don't really take it as an L because, bitch, who the fuck knows what the fuck would have happened if I would have made it online? We don't know what could have happened because bitches do haze, so you don't know. But like now that I look at it now I kind of I feel like it's kind of too late to be upset, but when they like had they like probate and all that or whatever, that's when it hit me. That's when I really got upset because it's just like wow, like because what really pissed me off because my friend actually went to their probate and she went to like their events and stuff. Well, a couple of my friends went with their fake ass, but it was just like wow, like I really didn't get in because I'm gay. Like you know, like I met the GPA requirement, the application requirement for the interview. I was dressed appropriately. Some of them weren't. I was. And I really like y'all really just didn't let me in because I'm gay. Like, and then mind you, the boys that made it, some of them are not involved in anything besides this organization. So it was like, okay, but whatever. And that's when I was really like, wow, like they really like they sized me. Like they really sized me. Like, but I mean, it's cool. Fuck them. And the reason why it made me upset is because it's like that never happened to me before. Like I had like, you know, like for instance, okay, when I won homecoming king high school, like I had people because I won, I had people say negative stuff about me because I'm gay, but you know, I expected that. But it was like I never had something like where I couldn't get it because I'm gay. So it was like that was the first like that opened my eyes because I thought because I'm not flamboyant, like oh they might accept me because you know I don't really do the most, but it just goes to show like it doesn't matter like what you are. Like people are really that ignorant. They don't care. They don't give a fuck about how masculine you are, how feminine you are. Bitch, if you gay, they're gonna just if they don't like that gay shit, like they're not just gonna accept you just because you're gay. So it's like it really doesn't even matter. But it was just like that opened up my eyes. Like wow, like people are really that ignorant. But I mean, but don't let that, you know, for people that, you know, are gay, like, if you want to join a fraternity, like, don't let this discourage you because not every fraternity is the same and not every chapter is the same. So, you know, I mean, if you want to do something, shoot for it, but don't let my story discourage you. And mind you, this is like I said, every chapter and every fraternity is different. So you know, perhaps I might go to a different school and then join that chapter, and I might actually get membership. And that's another thing that killed me too, because it's like there's other fraternities that have gay members. So it's like, yeah, but whatever. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And make sure you guys subscribe and hit the bell button so you're notified when I post future videos.